What is going on, guys? Alex Eubank here. Welcome back to the channel. I just had an amazing workout, which you guys are going to see in this video. Basically, I've been training naturally now for about 7 years. Since I was 16, I started out doing calisthenics for about a year. My dad actually didn't let me touch a weight until I was 16. I know like the whole industry's changed now. People are starting to like lift weights and like bench when they're like 12 years old now. These kids are like extremely jacked by even time they're even 16. So the whole, I feel like, dynamic has changed. Like a lot of people are starting earlier now, and I guess the industry now is a lot bigger than it was when I first started. Not as many people worked out. When I went to my like high school, I was one of the only kids who lifted and who was like jacked and like carried my like gallon jug with me. I used to wear Gymshark in high school, bro. I was like the only person in high school to have that. I used to watch like Bradley, Martin, Callum, and all that. But anyways, there's so many things that I wish I did when I started. Now, like that, there's so much more knowledge in like the industry that I wish I would have utilized for the beginning years of my like training career. And I feel like I'd be bigger, I'd be stronger, I'd be more knowledgeable. So by me telling you guys things that I wish that I knew, let's say if you're still in like your first year, 2 years of lifting, or even if you just started, you could use things that I wish that I knew now so that you don't have to end up like regretting them. You can like take advantage of that off rip, because your beginning years of lifting, first off, are the most important. Newbie gains is 100% a thing. Your first year, 2 years of lifting, you will see by far the most amount of growth naturally. And then as you get older and as you have more years under your belt, it will taper off pretty exponentially as you get closer and closer to your natural genetic limit. Now, for me, I don't think I'm at my natural genetic limit at all. I think if I did a longer period of a bulk, I could get bigger for sure. But one of my first mistake that I will say that I did is I wish I started sooner, before 16, and then I wish that I didn't cut when I started. I was like a skinny fat body type, and like back then in high school, bro, everybody, you just wanted to have abs. Now everybody wants to be like jacked and like aesthetic and like swole and strong. Back when I was in high school, it was like if you had abs, was like you felt like you could, I guess, pull more. It was like all about like getting girls and like having abs. You felt more confident in your body. Post my little thirst traps on my Snapchat story when I was 16, whatever. So for me, I started cutting instantly. I used to run a lot. I did calisthenics mainly. Bro, I didn't know nothing about diet. I like ate no carbs at all. Stupid, bro. Carbs are good for you. They fuel you. They allow you to get stronger and lift heavier weights. So for me, honestly, dude, I wasted a big part of my newbie gains just cutting like an idiot. So if I could go back, I would have went into a small surplus of about probably 500-ish calories. But yeah, I would have had like a decently lean bulk instead during my beginning part of lifting. I would have ate a lot more protein, a lot more carbs. I would have focused more on building quality muscle tissue rather than trying to just get lean and shredded. Because once I got kind of lean and I had like abs and stuff, then I was like, when I was 17, I was like, all right, let's start like putting on some size. And that's when I started my first bulk, which will bring me to my second point, is learn how to train optimally with intensity. Bro, when I was in high school, I did a bro split, which is like one muscle group every single week, but I did a dumb amount of volume for each body part. So for like chest day, I would hit 20 sets of volume for chest. Same thing for back, for arms, for shoulders. I'd be in the gym for an hour and a half. But the thing is, because I didn't understand the concept of training with intensity, I was basically just training for a pump. I would just do a lot of pump sets. I wouldn't go to failure every time, which I feel like now there's a lot more like literature and stuff on the topic of like having a good balance between like intensity and volume. So where I would do 20 sets before back then for chest, now I would do maybe 10 working sets, intense working sets, and I would leave it at that. I also found that a 2 times a week split worked better for me, or like a 4-day split rather than like a bro split. So push-pull legs, Arnold split, or like a 4-day custom split, I feel like works better than doing a like bro split, because bro splits tend to have too much volume. If I could go back, the second thing I would change is I would learn to train with adequate intensity and have a better relationship between intensity and volume, because I thought it was just like, oh, if I do more sets, I'm going to get bigger and bigger, when that's honestly not the case. If you do too much volume, in fact, it can actually kind of hurt your progress a little bit. So the third thing, honestly, I could say is there's a lot more, I guess, on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube now. There's a lot more videos and literature on like how to train correctly, like little things, bro. Like with like the optimal lifting now, like you can train with like the most optimal angle ever. Like put your lat and your elbow in a certain way to where you're gonna have the best stretch and contraction, or like what exercises give you the most amount of like muscle stimulation. Like there's so much more literature on it now than back when I was 16. It was like more like bro science back then. Now it's like everybody like actually knows like the literature on like how you have to bring your elbows in on bench press instead of keeping them out here. Like I used to do it like this, versus I wish I did it like this now. Or for like a pull down, if I really want to hit my lat, you bring my elbows more in and focus on keeping my elbow closer to my body. Like I wish I knew that stuff when I started lifting, because I probably would have been able to build the muscles that I was actually trying to target back then, rather than just throw weight around. So I feel like there's a lot more knowledge on that now, which honestly I probably couldn't have done anything about that back then anyways, because that wasn't really available. Now there's just so much of that free knowledge available online. So make sure that if you're like developing your programs or whatever now going into lifting, that you take like that optimal approach. Not everything has to be like optimal. Like do what you enjoy doing, because sometimes that can take the fun out of lifting. So like for me, I'll have like a good balance between optimal lifting and then also like having fun in the gym or getting like a really good pump while I'm there, or like training intense or like lifting heavy. Like have a good balance. It's got to be fun as well. Next thing would be programming. I never programmed when I was in high school. I wish that I tracked my lifts, that I focused a lot more on progressive overload, because I never did that, bro. All I did, I was such a meathead. I just want to go to the gym, train, go home, eat hella food. Because from 17 to like 18 and a half, I dirty bulked like crazy, and I just ate whatever. I was eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day, getting swole, which like works, but you don't have to dirty bulk. Like I recommend lean bulking if you have the discipline. I just didn't have the discipline back then, because I was, all I did was play video games and go to the gym. So for me, dirty bulking was just the best. And I had no money back then, so it was just like I would ask my dad for $10 to get a double lunch at school, and that was like 1,500 calories in itself. I wish that I bulked longer. I wish that I didn't stop at 18. I wish that I went all the way to like 19, 20. I feel like I'd have a better physique now. I was focused on getting like lean and aesthetic for like summer every single year. I wish I would have bulked through the summer instead, because like if you're natural, bro, and you're like within your first 3 years of lifting, build a foundation. Like build your foundation first. That's the most important thing, and then worry about getting shredded and aesthetic after having that foundation, or else you'll just be like small and skinny like me. Yeah, I mean, I honestly would say that's just it. Now you see a lot of kids getting, bro, I'll go through my TikTok and I'll see kids who are like 16, 17, 18 years old that look insane, bro. Better physique than me, 100%. Like I can see that straight up, better physique than me. And I'm like, whoa, bro, I wish I like would have started sooner and like got into lifting before that, even though my dad really didn't let me. And bro, you see like these guys, they're stupid jacked. People think I'm like hating when I talk about this. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I can see how it comes off that way, but like in a sense, because I see like all these kids getting extremely jacked at a young age, bro. When I was 18 and I was like 190 pounds and like super bulked up and swole, like I heavily considered gear. And then I ended up, like I really was thinking about hopping on gear, like SARMs and stuff back then, because that's like what was like people were talking about. And I did not, regardless of what anybody wants to say. And I swear God did this to me. I got extremely sick when I was 18. My graduation day, I threw up and I developed like extreme anxiety over feeling like I was gonna get sick. I lost decent amount of weight because I developed like a fear of eating. I had like an eating after that graduation day, and I lost a good amount of weight. I stopped lifting actually for like a few months. At least when I say stop lifting, I stopped doing it consistently. It was more like a few times a week rather than every single day. And I lost some size, sadly, but I got a lot leaner. I think if I wouldn't have gotten like sick like that, I probably would have like considered more, like I probably would have went that route of like bodybuilding and on gear and whatnot. That whole event that I had in my life, like the mental shit, like kind of messed up my lifting trajectory, which I honestly am grateful for now. I'm happy because I feel better that I stayed with the more natural route. But I know that a lot of other people, even watching this video, like younger dudes, are considering stuff like that at an extremely young age. Like they'll be in high school, and like I know how I was, bro. I was mad competitive in high school. Like when I went to the gym with my like lifting buddies, if I saw that they looked better than me or were stronger than me, I would like research like what can I do to get bigger than them, because I was competitive and I know a lot of other people are. So I know there's like a big like push for people to want to hop on stuff or like gear at a young age, or like do what they can do to get like that edge, but like it's not worth it. I know, like especially now that kids are starting sooner, by the time they're like 18, they already have like 4 years of lifting under their belt, and they start seeing their progress start to slow down a bit. They end up like really considering it even more, and I feel like I'm seeing that more in like this industry. And I guess people try and say that's like me hating or whatnot, but I am concerned for like the well-being of that. And I know that they look up to influencers who are bigger and more swole than them, right? So they look up to these guys who are like taking gear because they want to be like that and look like that. Again, I'm not hating, bro. I know like I'm known as like the natural, like skinnier, smaller guy, and I like accept that wholeheartedly. I'm just concerned because I want people to know that there's more to life. And I wish I would have known this back when I was 17, 18. There's more to life than lifting weights. And I was trying to find fulfillment in life in something because I had a hole in my heart. I didn't know what else to fill it with, but with gaming and just going to the gym. And I made the gym my entire personality. And again, I'm a fitness influencer. This industry has changed my life, but people need to realize like it's not all about lifting weights. Like everyone will say like, oh, like they'll talk about the gym becoming like a meathead, like just becoming a meathead. I eat, breathe, gym every day, every single day, 24 hours a day. Just want to get as big as possible, strong as possible. But like I'm telling you right now, bro, like it's more to life than lifting weights. It's not worth throwing away your health. It's not worth none of that, dude. And I wish more people would see that. I wish I found God sooner, bro. I wish I found God when I was like 16, and I don't think I would have ended up becoming that obsessive over it. Because, bro, any hobby or like good thing, too much of it becomes unhealthy. Like if you become too obsessed with something, it becomes extremely unhealthy. So for me, like when I was 18, I was becoming way too obsessed with the gym. Like came my entire life, and I'm happy that I did not end up going the whole bodybuilding route and like competing and taking gear and shit. But I'm just speaking to you guys as an influencer who's supposed to motivate and inspire in a positive way. Tell you guys, like, so much more to life, bro. Find God, dude. You feel like you're missing something, you think that the gym is the only thing keeping you like alive or happy, bro. It's literally just a band-aid on a wound, and you need to like actually find like fulfillment. For me, it's through God, which I recommend for everybody. Jesus Christ. Watch my life story video if you have not already. The way I look at this industry, bro, I feel like a big brother. Like when I go to these meetups, like this Young LA block party, and I see all these guys waiting in line to come meet me, I feel, and they say like, yo, you changed my life. You got me into lifting. You got me into. First off, when they say I got them into lifting, I'm like, cool, like that's dope. Good. And they say, yo, you brought me to God. I'm like, okay. Now we're talking. Like now that's like actually important. Is this deep? That's deeper than like anything. But when I see all these kids like looking up to me, I feel like a big brother in a sense, and I feel like I'm a naturally protective person over the people that I love and care about. I feel like the need to have to like express stuff like this more. And sometimes I get too animated about it, and I feel like I might sound like I'm hating or whatnot on like the direction the industry and stuff is going, and I don't mean to at all. It's just that I care about like people's well-being, whether they believe that or not. And sometimes I get like more animated, and I like my emotions get involved, and it might sound like I'm hating on that, but it's more of I'm worried because I knew when I was like that age how like much or gullible or like how much I wanted to get into it, like in the unhealthy side of it. So for me, having the platform I do, I'm gonna again try and be positive and look out for you guys and let you know like my opinion on it, I guess. I don't know if that what I just said makes sense, but as an influencer too, I gotta like watch what I say in a lot of things, because if I say too much of what my opinion is, people might like try and take it and twist it to make me like sound bad. And like this is, you know, my job, so I make my living from this, so I don't want to like risk that. It's like having a balance between like being openly vulnerable with you guys and then like not saying too much of what I want to say. Hope you guys understand what I'm saying there though. Yeah, I'm just looking out for y'all. You know what I mean? I want you guys to get the most amount of progress, have the most amount of fulfillment, have the most amount of fun. But if your progress starts stagnating, do not think of getting on stuff, because you're always going to want more and more and more, bro. It's like for anything in life. Like it goes for money, bro. That's why progression is addiction, bro. It's always you fall in love with the journey, not like the destination, because you're always chasing the destination. You think that like, oh, once I hit this on bench, or once I hit this weight on the scale, or once I get this amount of money in my bank account, or once I get this job, or once I get this grade in school, like I'll be fulfilled. And that's the biggest lie, bro. And I can say that firsthand for literally everything. You fall in love with the journey of it, and the progress is what gives you like dopamine, and what makes you feel successful, and what gives you that sense of fulfillment. But I promise, like whatever you think, like, oh, once I hit this goal, I'll be like satisfied. No, you're always gonna want more. So that's like what I'm relating to. If you hop on gear, if you hop on whatever, you're always gonna want more and more and more. What you think, like once you hit that weight cap, or once you hit that bench, that like, okay, then I'll chill and be happy. That's like never the case usually most of the time. So fall in love with the journey of it, have fun with it, and just let that be enough. So yeah, that was a rant, bro. I just kind of that was like a podcast almost. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Well, Code Alex, Alpha Lion, Young LA, Flex Bro, Elucid, Elysium. Until next time.